want it. McDonald's all-day menu. Available 24/7.
Welcome back. Bryce is... Oh!
Did you not see that?
I did not see that. Where did this come from?
I don't know, but it's so funny because he's in a Chiefs jersey, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's old school Bryce. I mean, first of all, that's back when he was still alive. So
True.
Yeah, it's nice that he's here.
So I want to demonstrate in really simple terms
Yep.
what this next game means before we get into segments.
Please.
Because we got given this foldy sheet. And so what you do with every different outcome, you fold the sheet and then it gives you the outcomes.
Sheet.
Okay, cool. So this is the sheet. If Direwolves, because it's Direwolves versus Order, correct
It
me
is
if I'm
last
wrong.
game of the day.
Yeah. So this is the sheet if Direwolves win. And you'll notice that it's just all orange and yellow. That's Gravitas and Mammoth.
Yeah.
And then you'll notice that if Order win on the other side, there's 2 little pink squares. So Order must win this game to have any shot at making the OPL.
All right, and
Gauntlet.
then they need to win their next 2 games as well.
No, so they only have 1 game after that. So they have to win
of
the
course.
one versus the Direwolves coming up now.
Yep.
And then it will be determined by if Order beat Gravitas.
Yep.
And Gravitas lose to the Chiefs.
Okay.
Order are through.
All right.
If Gravitas win any game,
Yep.
whether it's Order, whether
Done.
it's Chiefs, done, dusted. Throw this stupid sheet in the bin. It becomes a stupid sheet when it doesn't have Order on it anymore. Until then, it's my loving, adorable sheet.
Well, that is probably a good way to get into the next seg, which we will in just a moment. A reminder to you guys that the 2019 University Championships for League of Legends here in Australia, registration closes in 2 weeks. You can form a club. You can go play League of Legends with your university mates and potentially win something. That's very
I'm
exciting.
thinking about going back to university at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
To study what?
Well, because I started a history and literature major and I wanted to be a high school teacher or a university professor, one of those 2 things. And I just really enjoy history at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think like I could do a history degree like while I'm in esports and then do a dip ed afterwards.
Totally.
And like a history degree wouldn't take up much of my time because like in my spare time at the moment, I read history books and listen to history podcasts.
And it's all already happened. Nothing's changing.
Yeah.
So you can just you can burn through the whole curriculum in one night. Right?
Right. I think so. I think that's how it works.
I reckon that is... Are you honestly thinking about this?
Yeah, honestly thinking
That
about it.
would be great because I've been thinking about going back to university. I don't know what to study, but just because I love that sort of like feeling of consuming knowledge.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's a very privileged position, I guess, to be in.
Yep.
That you go, oh, I can go back and do that. Of course, none of my family will eat. But I will be very, very happy.
Exactly.
So the 2019 University Championships, they are open. Australia and New Zealand. Get in there, have fun. And while you're at it, or before you even get to university with the high school league, the registrations for those are still open. It's happening right now, but it's a Swiss format and you can join at any time. So you're fine. So even though you're seeing highlights reels, you can still get in there and have fun. All right. We wanted to... I don't know why in the chat it just says we would cut to Nick Boy eating a Kit Kat like an animal. I don't understand. I didn't read the rest of it, but sure.
Is it Maxi?
No.
Okay, so
No.
it's not the original.
No, it's
Monster
not the
Kit Kat
original,
either,
like,
yeah.
ruin the Kit Kat for everyone
Yeah.
either. We want to break down basically what's happened today and a little of what we can expect tomorrow. Keeping in mind, we've still got one more game for tonight, and tomorrow, the way that the games are balanced, some teams have only played 1 game today, some have played 2, so it's not the definitive be-all and end-all, but what we've learnt so far. So let's go through top 2, the teams going through the playoffs for a spot right now, and then those who have not qualified. Starting off with Bombers. They've got 2 wins versus AV and Gravitas. They've got 1 game tomorrow in Mammoth. How have Bombers looked today for you?
Look, in terrific touch. I think that what Rusty said is very true. They didn't play their best League of Legends, and I still didn't really think that they were going to lose either of their games, which makes me feel very, very confident.
Yep.
Bombers are kind of one of those teams that until you beat them, then you feel like you're losing the game.
Yep.
Like you're literally opening up their base and you're still like, where's Mimic on the flank?
Yeah.
Do I have to be worried about Ryoma? Where are the utility
Why are
players?
they letting me do this?
Yeah, exactly right. So I think that they're the dangerous team.
Yep.
Like no one wants to get them in top form. I think Chiefs included. So I really think that Bombers showed today in Sporadic Bursts like how good they can be. And then they also showed everyone that they're still human.
Yep.
And humans are more terrified than robots because we have emotions.
True.
And then they want to snuff out those emotions at grand final time.
Exactly. That's when you want to become a robot. Do you foresee a world where at grand final time the human side just takes over and
Absolutely.
they just whiff it?
Yep. I think that Rogue and FBI have been reverse swept, I think, 4 times in their career. I think that Ryoma has also been reverse swept.
Yep.
I think that this is a lineup that is very emotional.
Yep.
And I mean, has communication issues as all multi-languages do. Like, I'm sure they can communicate with each other in game, but when in a best of 5, you're 2-2 versus the Chiefs, and they're running over you with, steamroll comps or team fight comps, and you need to be able to have those important conversations of, we need to play more conservatively, we need to do X, Y, and Z to win this game. That's hard to do with 2 people that aren't native English speakers. So I wish them all the best. Like, as Rogue kind of said, like, I'm Bombers spawn at the moment. Like, I got a lot of love for the team. I like every single person on that team, but 100% they could fall apart.
They're a good team to love. They're an enjoyable team to love. Another team that are very easy to love, the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
So they won against AV today. They've got 2 games tomorrow. That's going to be against Gravitas and Direwolves, which on current form for all those teams, Chiefs shouldn't have too many problems with.
Absolutely not. And that was going to be my overall point. So I can go on the same rant about the Chiefs, but the top 2 teams have played 3 games against the middle of the pack teams today, and none of them will look like they're got anywhere near them. Right now, if you book the grand final today, I would put so much on the fact that it's going to be Chiefs versus Bombers just off recent form. The reason that I like the Chiefs a lot at the moment is they are more creative. Ayla is a creative player. Addy's best
more
only,
creative than Bombers.
Yeah, Addy's best only is a very creative player. And I think when Swiper is behind, he will still make you the game-winning play. And I think that is so hard to do from behind. You saw Order fall behind today, and you saw them throw a couple of Hail Marys, but they were disarray. It was one person going in against the other. Swiper gets everyone on the exact same page, and then makes his play, and then sometimes it works. And I think Ayla's got that talent as well. And then their carry players in Claire and Rays on their day, and they've had a couple of their days lately, are better than anyone as a duo because they are so patient.
Absolutely. I mean, if that's what finals night looks like, that's a very enjoyable final.
Absolutely. Put me on the analyst desk for it. I'll take you all through.
Put me on the couch and I'll talk about, I don't know, what source is better. The next set of teams, these are the teams fighting for positions in playoff. Mammoth, they're locked in. And it just depends on where they're going to land. So they won today against Legacy in probably more of a scrappy game than they would have liked. And they also won against Order, potentially with some of the same issues there in the early game.
Absolutely. I think that both of the games today, Mammoth wouldn't be happy with. And the difference between Legacy and Order is when Order were winning the game, they were playing fast. When they started losing the game, they still played fast. And I think that Legacy kind of is the inverse of that. They are willing to slow the game down even when winning. And therefore, the game goes for a longer time. In saying that, I think Legacy did play better than Order today. So I'll take my hats off to Legacy. I think they're a really promising young lineup. Mammoth, at the same time, they're the gut check games, and they won both of them, which makes you feel good going into best of 5. Because they have treated the wins as wins. And I think sometimes teams do a very bad job of celebrating those crappy wins. And both of these were crappy wins. But you could see on the desk that they were still like, hey, we won those games. A win is a win. That's fantastic. And I really like that approach. I think they're the 3rd best team in the OPL.
All right. Well, they are looking to prove that tomorrow when they take on the Bombers. AV up next. Not the best day for AV. Double loss versus Chiefs and Bombers. And tomorrow, they're facing up against Legacy.
Yeah, and I think played a little bit more reserved than I would have thought in one game. And then kind of tried to explode out of the gates in the second game. And I felt like they were a little bit frustrated at each other. And I think that that's kind of what happens when you play AV style. And the thing about AV is you just don't know what day you're going to get them on. Because we've seen them do this before. And then they come out the next week and they're all exactly on the same page. Rusty's got them straight back in the right order. They know what each other's roles are. They play super quick, super exciting. They're an exhilarating team. They can blitz you and you don't even know how you lost. Trust me, we lost an Air Drake and then a Rift Herald. And then I looked up at the screen and it was a 7,000 gold deficit. And I went, what the heck has happened? So I think that they're a really exciting team. They're not playing their best League of Legends at the moment. I think they were playing their best League of Legends in week 5, week 6. And I think that if they get back to that form, they will be able to push one of those teams in a best of 5 that I mentioned at the top, the Mammoths or the Chiefs.
I feel like AV have a good way of bouncing back, though. They seem to have good reset. Maybe they've been on a bit of a bad run, but their reset seems to be pretty good. That's what I was
saying. Week to week, you don't know which one of them you're going to get. And I think that even at their worst, they're not a bad team. This is a team that is promised playoffs and well-deserved because they've played well all season long. I'm just comparing AV to the top 2 teams because I think that's where they deserve to be in the conversation with. And right now, they're not in that form. I think in week 6, they were well and truly in a top 2 team form-wise. So I think that is what they want to battle to get back towards. This is, at their best, this is definitely the third representative from Rift Rivals.
And it is
OS.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is exciting to see as well tomorrow they'll be playing against Legacy. So it's AV, as we've said multiple times throughout the season, the sort of team that we didn't expect to be doing as well as they are. And Legacy, the team that I feel like are probably improving the most at the fastest
Legacy
clip.
split too. If they, like, Crazy was never supposed to be the support to my knowledge. You know, they've got a couple of issues they need to sort out.
Yep.
But their foundation of Chaz and Praedyth is, like, amazing. They're going to be a
Super
dangerous split 2 team.
All right, we are getting close to the next game, so let's burn through these next ones. Order. They lose today to Mammoth. They've got the next game coming up against Direwolves, and then tomorrow facing off against Gravitas.
This game tells me everything I need to know about Order, because
Yep.
this is a game they should win.
Yep.
Direwolves have won 1 game. If they don't win it, they don't deserve to make playoffs, and they need to take a very good, long, hard look at themselves, I think.
And unfortunately, also a situation where their fate hangs in the balance of another team as well.
In saying that, if your fate was going to be in the balance of 2 teams, like, you would probably pick Bombers and Chiefs at the moment.
That's true.
So Order are probably treating it, we're equal on the ladder right now.
Okay.
We need to win our games. At least that's how I would be looking at it. Otherwise, you lose your mind.
Yep.
And then, you know, Chiefs and Bombers just got to do their things. And so far, that's looked like the case.
All right, well, Gravitas, the team we were just speaking about that potentially can be the downfall of Order. That is, they took a loss today against Bombers. They've got 2 games tomorrow against Order and Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think Gravitas today once again showed that team fighting they're struggling with.
Yep.
Teams are forcing them off the 1-3-1. They're picking Ezreal away. They're banning the Ezreal. They're getting rid of the Tahm Kenches, the Broms. They're making them play team fight style. Juve said he was happy about that because he doesn't think his team's going to go far in the gauntlet if they can't prove they can't team fight.
Yeah.
And I think so far they have proven that when it comes down to team fights, they are not one of the strong teams. In saying that, their 1-3-1 is probably the best in the comp at the moment. They're a very patient team. They're well drilled. I like what Ejim's done with them. They're also very nice and likable people. So it's very hard for me to say I want to beat them for that last gauntlet spot.
But you want to beat them for the last
But I want to beat them for the last gauntlet spot.
Then we come to the teams that cannot qualify for Gauntlet. Legacy, as we've spoken about a lot, they had a loss today against Mammoth. They got 2 games tomorrow, Direwolves and AV.
Yep.
Legacy, though, putting up a hell of a fight for the second half.
Could win both of them. Could win both of them.
They totally could. And that would be a great outcome for them.
Absolutely.
Because as you said, that is ending on the uprise.
Yeah, so I think like you got one team. We kind of said these are the 2 teams building for split 2. I think Direwolves right now, their build has not been fast enough. They're still on foundations. It hasn't looked great. Legacy, under Denian, seems to be in a really good spot. I'm excited about the young lineup. Proves that there is good talent coming through O's solo queue. When you have a look at people like Chaz, you know, Praedyth was always a solo queue player. Then you add in people like Aladoric, Gunkrab, Swathe, like the talent pool in OS is there. We had 10 imports last year. We're down to 2.
Yep.
And the young talent looks very, very good. I think the OS Orgs this split has done very well.
And then finally, Direwolves. So they have a win or a loss against Order coming up, and then tomorrow they're going up against Legacy versus Chief. Direwolves, obviously, we know the fall from grace that is basically a brand new team. They're trying to rebuild. Is the rebuild happening fast enough to head into split 2?
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing. I think in some areas, absolutely. I think that Get Back has been better than I thought he would be. I think BioPanther has continued his form. I think Corporal and Ubisoft need to lift if this team is going to be anything in split 2.
All right, well, we'll see most of their the outcome of their hard work this week tomorrow, but we need to get into the next game, and it is Direwolves versus Order. It is all on the line for Order right now. Let's throw it over the desk with Rusty and Pyro.
Thank you very much, Nick Boy. Yeah, I think Spawn really said it, that obviously this is the game you expect to win. If Order don't, then they have no business in the playoffs.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry, all I could think to myself was I am tired and hungry, and I've seen McDonald's advertisements, and all I can think is
Hey,
I
guess
just
what?
want
It's
food.
the McDonald's Champ Select. We're into it.
Oh, hell
and
yeah,
there's
brother.
some hot cakes that just
That's
magically
gonna
got
be really
delivered. So
cold.
Rusty's going to eat those, and I'm going to dodge sauce packets and talk about pick bands while you eat them.
Ah,
Good stuff.
I wanted a
cool.
bowl.
Direwolves on blue side. The owl. That is going to be a Callista Nico band away. The Yasuo band by Order up against Get Back. So, you know, possibly not wanting to take any chances against some big pop-off champs.
Yeah, the Nico band away is, to me, you know, Nico's one of those champions that you can never tell if you should or should not ban her. This is almost like the point that we had the other day, the other game, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, Nico's a good champion sometimes. So if you're banning Nico, then it's clear you want to play something that you feel like Nico may be good into.
I feel like if you ban Nico, you should get the opportunity to change it into another champion down the line because she turns into other champs.
That is absolutely not how that should ever work, because that just really makes draft impossible, Pyra. But I like
Of course
the
it would,
idea.
but I think it's creative, just like how Nico makes casting difficult, as we found out earlier today. So, Silas band away. Order learning a lesson there, and it's going to be the Lissandra lock-in quickly for Direwolves and the Rise.
Yeah, I'd say overall nothing's really surprising. You know, the reason that we highlight the Nico ban is it's the only thing that, to me, actually stands out from the whole of this draft at the moment. Lissandra's a strong first pickable champion. Rise is something that can be flexed as well, and so we'll see where they go with this. Alongside the Rise, the Braum, very easy lock-in once again. Seems to be the highest red side priority champion, especially with Galio gone. Choo-Choo's mentioned this in their interview, puts a lot of priority on the support pool in his draft, and as he should. But right now, with the Braum up, you could go something like the Rakan, something like the Alistar is actually still there.
Yeah, there's plenty of options still available for the Direwolves, and now just toying with the jungle choice for Ubisoft. I think it would just be nice to see if Direwolves can pick themselves like what is considered like a standard composition, and even if they don't win this game, because it is still a mountain to climb in the shape that they have been in relative to the rest of the pack, just put in a good performance. I feel like that's what you want to do as Direwolves. You want to just build it up. You want to just try and play your best League of Legends for the next couple of games.
Absolutely. You know, I'm not the guy that wants to inject spice into anything, but I tipped the Direwolves over Order here.
Well, you did inject a little bit of spice, Rusty. It's the end stretch. I appreciate you doing it. And Thresh locked in for Corporal.
Yeah, so we look towards the Order side now. They can choose to match roles, go for something like the Lee Sin, the Kha'Zix, the Rek'Sai, all available, match the Jarvan, or they can pick an AD carry and start to ban them away from their opponents, and that's something that I think you'd be preferential to. I would personally pick the Ezreal, ban away something like the Vayne and the Sivir even, and try and make life hard for the Direwolves. Yeah,
and Ezreal has just been one of those champions, especially paired with Braum, that it's just so hard to take him down. You negate a lot of the playmaking potential of that Thresh, because you can shift away out of the danger zone. And now it comes into second ban phase, so let's see if your predictions prove true, if they ban away a lot of those ADs. And it's kind of a no-brainer. The Kai'Sa's off the board.
Yeah, Kai'Sa's Space Vayne, so I can understand taking that one away.
Suppose Void Vayne.
Well, same thing.
Space Vayne. Well, she does have, she has like kind of like a space mech jetpack skin. Yeah, well, you know. Ken and ban
To be fair, when she was released, I called her Space Vayne because of that skin.
It is a catchy name. I'll give you that. It's a catchy name for her.
Real Vayne should be banned alongside Space Vayne.
Yeah, Kennan's banned by Direwolves.
I would expect, anyway. There are still other options. It's about what they prefer.
A lot of communications going on the Order side to see what they do want to ban last. I mean, what else would you ban away as an AD carry choice? Looks like it's Draven, actually, against Andrew.
That is one. Andrew is a Draven player.
It's limiting the pop-up potential, right? Same reason you want to ban away the Yasuo.
Yeah, it's also hard because you want to show a champion here, and if you're Order, you want to hold that Rise as a flexible pick, so you'll most likely go for a jungler. And that does make things a little bit more difficult with their solo lanes.
Still heaps available for Spooks as well, and he's one with a fairly deep champion pool. I could see him going back to, like, the Elise, maybe.
I mean, he could, but that means that your mid laner would have to be physical or your top laner, so maybe Jace is a possibility for them. But Nocturne would have to be picked, most likely, if that's ever going to be a consideration.
Oh, yeah.
Nocturne could go very well here, actually, with the comp that Order put together. Zac!
They picked the Zac up for Spooks, okay.
Yeah. So it does fill a similar purpose, actually going to be a big frontline tank that can go with the 3, presumably on a 1-3-1.
Yeah, they can get a lot of picks set up with that, right? I mean, there's a lot of abilities to close distances, and the ultimate can really set up some big set plays for Order. So let's see how the Direwolves respond. A few seconds left to pick.
And the reason that I say, well, this is expected from Direwolves. The reason that I say this is most likely a 1-3-1 from Order is because they've gone for the Zac with the Rise already locked in. So the only time that this would change is if they wanted something like a Zed, maybe, or a Jace as a mid laner. But with Lissandra already there, they would need to see that it's going to top lane. As they're not going to do that, they're going to pick the big croc.
All right, so Renekton locked in for Biopanther, trying to get a little bit of lane dominance down, and now, well, what do you prefer if you're Order? Do you want to take the Rise into that?
You'd go to... well, they're not going to do it.
Definitely not. It's going to be the Gnar.
Yeah, they're going to pick a physical damage dealer in the top lane. So Tally gets his pick of the litter there with what he wants to play into it. Doesn't go the Jax, doesn't go the Fiora. He's going to go towards the Gnar, and I would say volatile lane.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen this particular matchup actually go down, so Tally's been a big stand-up performer on the Order side. They're giving him, you know, kind of the pass to say, all right, see what you can make of it. And this is a pretty beastly 1-3-1 when you look at it.
Absolutely. If you cast your mind back to history as well, you see Renektons come out as answers in the top lane. Usually you'll see the Gnar in response to the Renekton. It is one of the picks that has always come about in response to that. You're just too strong in mini form. you answer the Renekton way too well. If he ever tries to engage on you, you've got really good kite with your boomerang you can throw around, and you have engage for the team. And he's not going to have to be a primary engage tool. They can split push, but they can team fight if they want as well. I really like the composition that Order have compiled.
Yeah, looking great for them. So, you know, definitely credit to the lineup, credit to Choo Choos for putting this all together. Order just need to put in a strong showing, staying alive for the playoffs. And the Direwolves are the weakest team in the OPL by record. But that doesn't mean that they can't challenge and see some of that growth potentially coming through. So we're going to get underway in just a little bit.
The Direwolves
coach came in and we're like, wait a minute, we're not doing an interview this time. They're just so used to it, they just automatically line up.
But I can't speak to him because I'm on a microphone.
Yeah.
Oh,
we just pulled the curtain back there, Rusty.
Immersion ruined.
My immersion. Suspension of disbelief. Okay. So yeah, so the top lane matchup's going to be interesting. Definitely want to keep track of where Spooks goes, especially post 6 mark when that ultimate comes online. But also, Zach opens up so many interesting gank paths because he can close such big gaps.
Absolutely. Of course, shout out to Spooks running the Honey Zach, the best skin on Zach besides the Bubblegum Pink.
I was about to say, like, if you said anything but Bubblegum Pink, you're wrong.
He's all about the Chrome as that champion, but you mentioned the Zach. Level 5 is usually the best point for a Zach to gank for everyone that's watching at home, which means that there is 5 whole levels of Jarvan existing. And so that's where Direwolves may want to try and pick at their opponents. Maybe they get a single early gank off. And the thing is, if I'm Direwolves, top lane's got a big target on its head. That is a place that you can 100% go towards and look for. Mid lane, because you have a knock-up as the Jarvan as well, if that connects, Swift as a killable target. Bot lane's the only one that you would say is hard to just guarantee there'd be kills there at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a safe lane as real Braum. But in the top lane for Bio, if they start snowballing Renekton, that becomes a massive problem for Order. And he becomes nigh unkillable.
The thing is, he does get outscaled quite a bit, so if he's not ahead, then Gnar will have a pretty good time. But if Gnar's ever behind, it's not great. There's a little early game games being played by Order, trying to boomerang and slow him down to threaten.
No big commitments, though.
Nope.
Get Back's the only one that actually manages to find any damage whatsoever onto Swift for mid lane.
This is on a
here's
ward.
An invade from Dreamin' Jake. Okay. This is just for harassment purposes.
Yeah, but they don't place
away.
a ward Direwolves. They don't see them from the moment that the invade starts and they start throwing Qs out. So Ubisoft has to smite the red buff. That really does slow him down in terms of a first jungle clear. But they are just going to do the handshake. They're going to swap sides of the map, vertical jungling. So there isn't any big contest, just a bit of pace lost.
Yeah, all about it. So, those 5 levels of Jarvan existing. What do you want to see Ubisoft do?
Well, I'd like to see him get some ganks off very clearly with that lead. But right now, what Order have forced onto the map is a swap of lanes priority, mainly. You know, so where is Ubisoft going to go? Well, he's going to do a full clear you'd expect before it. Mid lane's a place you would want to look at once the waves start to bounce back and forth. He's got the makings of that currently as well. And after Vision dies is what I mean in terms of timing. So those first wards placed 1 minute and 20 in the game. They start to die after about 90 seconds. So the opportunity comes up at, you know, fairly soon, 3 minutes-ish.
Crunching all the numbers.
I'd like a gank in mid lane around that time if the wave starts to bounce towards the Lathan.
All right, we'll set your watch, and we'll see if it happens.
I would, but it doesn't have a time.
That is a really interesting watch. It's just all the dots.
Yeah.
That's really. I was wondering how that actually worked.
Well, the hour
you guys can't see this at home, but
so
it's like a
light
digit.
Blink. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ah, it's ruined.
Space watch. All right, Spooks is going to get going. I like that as a Zac, you can kind of do 2 camps at the same time. Ooh, early damage traded onto Swiffer here. Get back getting hyphy.
Absolutely. Swiffer, of course, doesn't want to trade too aggressively as a Rise in mid lane without the mana pool to sustain the fight itself. So
not early on, yeah.
Goes for shorter burst-oriented, you would say, trades. But still, this vertical jungling will continue. So Ubisoft is actually the first to break it. We'll now see that the whole of his jungle is, in fact, gone. So it's more of a confirmation check than anything else. Just wanted to see if maybe the Zac was there at the moment that he checked to go on him. He'll take the Wolves and top side. That's always going to be the place to look at. If I was Ubisoft, I'm going top lane to try and at least force Flash, give something to BioPanther.
There's a level advantage, too, still for Bio.
It's just so hard to do, though, Pyro, because the vision's been there from Zac already.
Yeah. I was really curious. So I think Order are going to want to make sure this is as slow as possible in the start of the game. And I wonder what Order really have to be thinking at the moment, because they are the team that are the farthest away from the gauntlet right now. They have to win more. They have to get help from the Bombers, and they already did. You know, see if it keeps on going. But I wonder what you got to be feeling as this team, even though you're going up against an expected win opponent.
The questions that are very hard to answer. For Order, it's a must-win game. You know, there's definitely some anxiousness, some nerves, some anxiety going to be there. It's just about how can you stay strong, you know, have that mental resolve. And as far as players go, I feel like they should be well equipped to do so. Hang on a second, he's in trouble.
Good gank as Get Back can't take the claw to safety. First blood to Swiffer with the assist on Spooks.
A little bit too easy there, being able to get the Essence Flux on first, Swiffer, and just chase him down. The claw was available for Get Back, but because of the enhanced duration of the stun, that Rune Prison locks him down now permanently. And so he's just taken apart here. Very nice little movements there from Order.
That was so clean. That was beautiful right there. So, you know, let's see if Udi can maybe match that a little bit somewhere on the map, but he's kind of busy counter jungling.
It felt casual, you know?
Yeah. No, it didn't feel like a gank. It was like, this is just a normal chess move.
It's just a key that they had.
Yeah. Get Back couldn't do much about it. You can get the flash off. Ooh, there's Udi.
Looks like he's just upsetting a bit of a reset there, perhaps. Swiffer still needs to go back to base, and Udi's just crossing through from bottom to top side. Looks like he's going like the most possible cross-country from Krugs to Krugs.
It's the title of your new book.
From Krug to Krug?
Yeah. I'd read it.
I don't know what I would possibly write about.
Jungling?
I can't write, just
Yeah?
so you know. I write like I speak. And in other words, people don't understand me.
Well, I would just read it in your voice, and that would all make perfect sense.
Yes, if you know what I speak like, then my writing is fine.
Well, I mean, I've spent years off and on casting with you, Rusty, so like I guess I've built up an understanding.
But yeah, for some random person who comes in, they watch, or they read my writing rather, they're like, what on earth is wrong with you?
It's fair enough. I'm not a particularly good writer either. And sometimes when I say things, it only half makes sense. That's why I do play-by-play. You just get excited.
Say enough words, by probability, some things will make sense.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a ratio game. It's all about the volume for sure.
Not a KDA caster.
Not a KDA cast. It's not about the points, Rusty. Tally getting himself in a nice little advantage here, and he's just keeping the distance between Bio. So the Crockett level 6 hasn't managed to get a whole lot done for him, and Udisov hasn't visited once. That seems surprising.
It's been really hard, actually, for the Direwolves to navigate this early game to try and be proactive. It's not that they're, like, really far behind on the map or anything, you know? They're farming pretty comfortably in the bottom lane. Fairly even on CS. Of course, a bigger wave stacking for Dream to try and collect. And he's a Kleptomancer user, throwing out those skill shots, getting some extra money.
He's getting actually quite a lot. There's a 700 gold advantage, and I think that is entirely on Dream. If we can cycle over to the gold in just a second, there's really no big CS differential. Oh, hold talk about the gold in a second, because Zach is caught. Popped into the blob. Swiffer and Tally going to go close the gap here, and Jake even tags in. How about that, protecting everyone? Get Back goes down a second time, and they take the party portal, but Udisov is already out.
They're not going to be able to find him with the Realm Warp. Zach passive is enabled, but a second death in the mid lane for Get Back is very dangerous territory. Order have now got themselves a ginormous mid laner, as that was a big old scoop-de-whoop, but it doesn't actually find purchase on the wall.
Unfortunate for Tally, but he doesn't really need it too badly. He did pick up a kill in all of that, and yes, as you were pointing out before, Swiffer does have the kill as well.
That's
so
why I don't play Pyro.
Scoop-de-whoop? That's a great one. Are you
hear
kidding
the
me?
things that just came out of my mouth?
The scoop-de-whoop? That's fantastic. I wrote that down.
What is wrong with me?
I ask myself that every day.
I was listening to a Kanye West song earlier. Pyro, that's exactly why.
Yeah, I think everyone knows the one you're talking about, too.
Whoop.
Oh, boy. I had never heard that song before, by the way. Ejim was scandalized. He was just like, what?
You were lucky until now.
If you haven't, well, yeah, and now I'm forever ruined by the few things on the internet I haven't seen. All right, so 2-0 start for Order. Nice. And the thing is, they have been like big, obvious plays. Like that started with Spooks getting caught, but because of the Zac passive, it gave just enough time for Order to close the gap.
Yeah, that and his smite was actually very nice to use as well on the red buff itself. So able to get some extra health back, and with a blue buff going over to Swiffer, Jake seemingly everywhere on Summoner's Rift as Dream takes on a 1v2 almost permanently in this bottom lane.
So I asked a little earlier about Order, you know, potentially feeling a little bit of nerves, and maybe that can make some mistakes. Well, it hasn't happened so far up against the Direwolves, and that's encouraging for Order. Again, not only is this must win, this is expected to win, even if we weren't on each team's just about penultimate game of the split.
And just to be clear, nerves are fine. Like, if you have nerves, fair enough, you know? But I don't expect from a team like Order to have game-changing nerves. You know, they should never hit a point where it affects their gameplay too much, just because of how long they've been around for and how long they've played together for, primarily the top side of the map.
That's true. You know, they retained 3 of their players coming into the season. It was only Dream and Jake that were coming in after, you know, the change-up of their bottom lane after the end of the last season. So they had that going for them for sure, and I think that was something that a lot of people were looking at as Order having an advantage over a lot of these other newer rosters, these newly formed teams. Mixed
Swiffer
results,
with the
though.
fancy footwork and get back dodging just the same. Ah, finally connected. It's all over.
There we go. Well, Swiffer wins the moral battle. It's a little harder to shuffle when you're being, like, pushed along by ice bits, I think. There's no friction on ice.
They were both dodging a whole lot of spells between them. But
They were, but I'm just saying Swiffer's got the advantage. He's got his feet on the ground.
I think Swiffer's advantage is that he can throw like 3 times as many.
Lots and lots of magic bolts. Oh, here we go. Going in onto Corporal. The box is there. They don't even need to step into it. And now Andrew, into the final hour, gets the condemn, but it doesn't go up against the wall. And the stun, True Shot Barrage, the flash out from Andrew. He might just live out of this one, but there's so much poke, so much damage. Dream, the shuffle, the tanking, the towers. And they get the 2 kills. Big advantage there. And now Spooks is going to get popped before he can abscond with Udasoft.
Yeah, finally the trade is there from Direwolves. 1-4 on the board, but Order in the 2v2 able to prove far too strong for their opponents. And it's just so tragic for Corporal. It doesn't get the Aftershock proc off, misses everything, and just really upsetting trades there for him. And the end result is no matter how hard Andrew tries, it's a 1v2 and he's completely mismatched by champions. So tries his hardest, but struggles.
That would have been a poggers if he could have gotten a kill out of that one. So Corporal
Careful now,
sniffing.
Corporal.
Oh boy, they're going to stop the backs. And he has nothing but his sums to really get him out of there. The box was honestly less than useful because he throws it down and Dream's just like, that's fine, I outrange it.
But if the hook or the flay does not hit, there is nothing that a Thresh is able to provide. You know, if you don't get Aftershock proc, you're so fragile.
Yeah.
And that fragility is exactly what they prey upon. You know, a Brawlman and Ezreal, they'll stun you, then you're just locked down and dying if you don't actually get that off. And, you know, one of the things that you would look at in this bottom lane 2v2 is the choice of the Thresh, knowing that the Braum was there. Braum really does like this matchup a lot.
That's why the priority is high, especially on the red side there when usually it's Galio going the other way if it hasn't been banned. Corporal gonna face check into Spooks and at the Rune Prison hook. Doesn't matter, just bring Swiffer a little bit close and having a little bit of fun with the stopwatch proc, and Swiffer claims kill number 2.
Not too sure if the stopwatch was a needed
Nah.
piece of that trade, but he dies, and you know, stopwatch is now on cooldown regardless.
Yeah, Corporal's having a bit of a roughie. I got an important question for you, Rusty.
I might have an answer.
Ooh, that's tempting. If a Gnar ultimate is a scoop-de-whoop,
Yeah.
what is it when Zac grabs somebody and bounces away?
Kidnap.
That was less exciting than I expected.
That's just what it's always been
I'm a
known
little
as.
disappointed. I was expecting some kind of rhyme.
Oh, I was thinking of some, but none of them were good, so I just gave you these.
So you just opted out?
Yeah.
All right, okay. We always have that opportunity. Yeah.
I'll think
Zac
on
bounce.
it.
Yeah, just think about it. I'm prompting you for all this. Oh, there's the hop out for Tally. No Thunderdome, not today.
He didn't even ult. Tally just hops away safely. Biopanther ulted, Udisoft ulted.
And he's out of there. That's the thing, is like that Jarvan cage is great if you have no way to get out of it. But there's so many ways to get out of it on this Order side.
It certainly is. Oh, the disengaged, bit of mobility. Of course, Ryze is not in a safe position regarding that mobility.
No, I mean, he can flash. He'd rather not to, obviously. And, you know, if you stick around long enough to party portal, then you might as well just get the kill.
And this could also just be a game where instead of leaving the arena, you actually just turn and burn your opponent.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
like,
if you're Ryze, that is a very big possibility.
because the Lissandra is 0-2, and the rest of the composition is magic damage. You know, I mentioned this before, but the Ryze could well and truly just stack armor and be unkillable.
So we can stack the red buff right now. Hook goes in, resets. Ooh, the flash play. Swiffer is forced to flash it out. He does get both sums out of Corporal, though, so at the end of the day, it's not too bad of a trade.
You'd be happy to trade that one if you're Corporal, though. Being able to use your flash for a Ryze's flash in mid lane means that Udisoft can go back there at any moment he likes once the ult is back up for the Jarvan.
Things start to heat up a little bit here. Order 2 managed to knock down all of the turret plates on the bottom tower just before they fall, so that is pretty big for their gold game. They've kind of eked up a 3,000 advantage off of those skirmishes, those kills. They'll get Tower 1 here in just a moment. You know, Order looking pretty good going into mid game. I mean, this is expected, but they are delivering.
Most definitely looking good, Order here. The bottom lane's really the place of pain for the side of Direwolves. Get Back has been suffering a whole lot, of course, with some pressure in mid lane, a good gank, and Swiffer has been playing a very confident game of League of Legends. But whenever you watch Order play League, if their bot lane is winning, they seem to be doing significantly better. Whereas if their bot lane is losing it all, has pressure, maybe just stuck under their turret, things completely shift against them.
This is true. So we're getting close to that 15-minute mark on the game. Order, momentum in their favor. Direwolves looking for answers as they swap up towards the top side. A couple of pings, furtively, over by the Rift Herald.
And Rise is also the one going to the top side right now. Doesn't have teleport, is running Cleanse, Flash, Ultimate on cooldown, and so is the Flash. So if anyone was at risk of dying, you would almost say it is him on the map, but clearly Herald is the play. They've got the Gnar bottom, so both teams looking towards it.
And Direwolves don't have the deepest division on the enemy side as the True Shot Barrage comes sniffing in. Samsung logo flashing through the rift. But I was about to say, on the opposite side, Order have heaps of it, except Biopanther's just gone on a rampage to clear some out, and some of it's just faded. So there goes all the vision that Order had. Yeah. But they didn't establish it in the first place, so credit.
But their goal is to have it here instead.
Yes.
So all the vision control they had bot side, it's going to time out naturally anyway.
Talked about the play being on the Rift Herald. Order,
going
to give that away to the Direwolves.
Do still have good teleport wards though. Order have cleared pretty shallow. They're in the river, so neutral vision has been established. But because Direwolves have managed to sneak their way through and get deeper wards down, they have the option to teleport. 3 wards currently are there that they can utilize. And it could just be a fight for this Herald.
Yeah, we don't always see it happening, but both teams keeping an eye on it for sure. Get Back just zoned away by Dream. He's having a great game on this Ezreal.
Just comfy. You know, it just feels pretty good for himself at the moment. Nothing has really stopped him since, I would almost say, from the first moment that he threw a Q at an enemy champion.
Oh no, he's fantastic. And I think it's not just for him. I mean, like, this is how we've been seeing Ezreal's. It just kind of feels at ease for a lot of these high caliber AD carries. It's the flannel pajamas of AD carries, really. You just feel good.
Yeah, fair. Can't go wrong with flannel.
Yeah.
Jake would know best. He loves his flannel.
Well,
he may be the only OPL player that I see with consistency have a flannel.
He does have a style.
Carbon was the other.
And Carbon's doing kind of like the gym tank these days. A little bit more. There's the Rift Herald going to get started by Direwolves. Let's see if Order answer for it. They're going to have to go pretty quick there. This is a big team effort.
Direwolves would be happy to turn from this as well. Teleport coming in right now. Tally's mini.
Tally, it's going to get taken down, stolen away. Order.
They're just going to have to let, they're
nice
just letting it
fight.
go.
Oh, man.
What's happening?
Order just walked up. 1 smite, that's all they had to do. It's the most bloodless victory ever.
Well, that's just
you know that like that old like saying that I came, I saw, I conquered Julius Caesar?
Yeah,
I came, I saw, I smited. Spooks, 2019.
I came, I saw. Direwolves.
That one is a little less impressive. It
I
feels bad for
that's the
Direwolves.
point. They set up, they did it, and then Spooks just walked in, literally melee range, smited it, and then they let him get the buff.
And Order were prepping for a fight. That's the crazy thing. They were ready for it, but Direwolves just blinked. Hardcore. Oh, man.
Played a game of chicken, they lost.
Yeah. So, Order getting everything that they wanted in this game.
Let those guys at parties that puff their chests out. And they're like, say something, bro, say something.
And then everyone just backs away.
Yeah, no one said anything. They're like, oh.
Because what you need is 2 of those guys at the party, and then all of a sudden they start like headbutting each other. Oh, Rift Herald's going in. Speaking of headbutts, onto the tower. Swiffer should be able to make short work of it with the help of Jake. But with Andrew there, it's a little dangerous.
Oh, I mean, Andrew's not exactly a big threat for someone like Swiffer at the moment. I think Swiffer has a lot of gold, actually, just quietly. I feel like he's...
Yeah, should toggle it on. Take a look at what he's working with right now. Yeah, he's got 1,200 still sitting on it. Should go back and spend, get an item.
Not as much as I thought he'd have, but speaking of spending, they're both going to spend, Tally and Swiffer alike.
Yeah.
And there's his Glacial, as suspected.
Home for the righteous glory.
Well, I can only hope so.
I know you were very big on that earlier.
I don't think we actually got to see it.
No, we didn't, but because the game kind of got a little out of hand. And it was on Tally last time around too. So
what's the fighting for vision at the moment? I really am waiting for that break point. Sooner or later, Direwolves have got to pick their battle. You don't come in as the
pick no battle.
last place team in the OPL in a game that means nothing for you but everything for Order and just go down without swinging. There will be a moment.
But right now, they've been pulling a few punches for sure. Advantages for Order. 4,500 gold in the lead. Hook comes. Lands onto the Braum.
Oh!
They decide to go for it. I think that was the time. And they're even going to bring everyone to this party. Jake getting the big old knock up on the safecracker. Doesn't really matter as Udasoft takes him down. But Direwolves a little low. The rest of Order soon to collapse here. And Dream taking Udasoft out of this fight. It's a 1-for-1 trade. But he keeps on going as Swiffer forced to flash in. That shield is big, but he's burning. He's going to get that cleanse on, staying alive. Dream tags his way forward to finish the job onto Corporal, and now it's just a game of chase. Andrew trying to run for it. Spooks looking for the bait, and that's the double kill. Into the blobs goes Spooks, but they still secure Andrew.
And Andrew does everything that he possibly can, and all that is getting the passive out of a Zac. Direwolves, they see the engage, and they just get into the fight, and very easily they're able to handle their opponents. There were some sketchy moments, however. Swiffer was super low on health.
He almost died, but that cleanse was really key there. And once he was out of the fight, all right, time to just march the mini waves into mid, take a second-tier tower. But here's how it goes.
During the entirety of this, just keep your eyes on Dream, because he's able to freely hit for all of it. Jake's the target. Dream's just going to stand back, respect Biopanther, get down some good damage. Andrew wasn't even here when the fight started. He's not able to apply the damage, but then Swiffer, he's caught out of position. He steps up. He gets his passive, has the flash available, and he's able to get out just barely from that. And then, of course, uses the cleanse to get rid of the ignite. And Dream's still hitting. So all this time, the Direwolves have been focusing people down, trying to get those kills. Dream's just smacking them all upside the head, and it's now like 5-0.
And Tally, too, on the back half, was able to get even more done. So, yeah, this is looking pretty great for the Order lineup. Dream getting so much done. The True Shot Barrage was a big part of it, too, to soften up all the members of Direwolves. And now we're past that 20-minute mark. Baron is on the Rift. Order will play this out, most likely calmly and cautiously, as they have been all split long.
They should be able to with a lead this large as well.
And Rusty, after that fight, Righteous Glory's been secured by Swiffer.
Hell
he's
yeah,
gonna
brother.
He's going to be a Zoomy boy.
That's my kind of rise right there.
Yeah, and he's got the phase rush, too, so he is really going fast.
Yeah, he's actually gone for the super speed build.
Yeah. I actually wanted a skin like a Marathon Runner Rise. I think that would have been cool. Or Sprinter Rise, rather. Singe needs the Marathon Runner skin.
Yes, he does. Rise could use one.
I
really
would
hard to
spend
make a
monies on
skin
that.
for Rise that is relevant to like only the current moment in League. Because you
Well,
have to
of
remember
course.
he'll get reworked within 6 months, and the new Rise may not sprint. And then maybe we just have a sprinter.
No, but
skin.
it'll cycle around eventually. You know, like give it 2 years, and then it'll be relevant again, and everyone will realize Riot are actually geniuses.
We don't know that.
I feel it to be true.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't shake my faith, Rusty.
Oh, but I can.
Yeah, you can try.
Bloody CLG fans.
Swiffer is out. Oh, nice little juke.
That was mid condemn as well.
Yeah. He actually nearly got knocked out of it. That was so close. And meanwhile, down to the mid. Well, Get Back's doing just that. Order flexing their muscles inside of the Direwolves jungle. Swiffer's back once again in a 1v2, and he blows up Andrew.
I swear there was once a vein there, guys. There was absolutely once a vein there.
Ooh.
Tally has got 2 people near him.
Yeah, Jake and Spooks, tag team League of Legends. Biopanther is not too big of a croc to keep this one going for long, and they Goomba stomp him.
It was all a big bait. Not a lot of items there for Biopanther in the way of survivability. Definitely just going for the split push for the damage route. And almost unkillable now is going to be Tally, especially when he hits Mega. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, Swiffer completely unstoppable in his side lane focus.
Just keeps on doing the job. It's all he needs right now. So the 3-1 working out well. Order also kind of doing a 3-1-1 with Dream in the mid lane. The back from Spooks, still enough damage between, or excuse me, the back from Jake, still enough damage between Tally and Spooks to finish the tower in the inner. That's 5 towers dropped. Direwolves have yet to secure 1. Big advantages for Order.
Yeah.
And they just keep building it slowly. They don't push their luck. They don't go too far.
This has ultimately just become a pretty casual game of League.
It is.
Like, from Order's side, it feels like a cakewalk for them at the moment. Just moving around anything that's in front of them, they'll be a threat to. With strength in 3 different carries on the map, kill distribution has been perfect from Order right now. 5 on the Ezreal, 3 on the Ryze, and 2 on the Gnar. The support staff of the team, all assist on the board.
Yeah, I think if you're Order, this is just one of those games where you just kind of cruise your way to victory. You feel great. You can just relax a little bit. I mean, Direwolves need several fights to really do anything, and they've just been denied so many times here. And I think the way you just sum it up is that 1v1 between Swiffer and Andrew, if you can even call it a 1v1, it felt like a 1v0.
Yeah, Swiffer's too strong.
He's a big boy.
Swiffer's just way too strong right now.
Also, he's still sitting on the 2 Dark Seals. What's the over-under? He turns one into a into a Medjay.
Into a Medjay? Oh, I'd say there is a 70%
It's a possibility.
chance. And note that that's a pretty high probability. Also,
Yeah.
he needs to sell one of those and get himself some control wards. That would be nice, considering he is a side laner by himself and doesn't have any vision. The vision that he has to rely on is going to come from his teammates, but they're playing on the top side of the map. So you'll also find with me, I constantly complain about the lack of control wards in inventories.
Old man yells at lack of control wards.
Yeah, that's me. You got me in one.
It's a little wordy. I think I can cut that down. Spooks and the rest of Order looking to cut the Baron down on their side. And this is one of those takes where it's pretty much secured. They've got so much vision throughout this jungle. Even Dream is just blocking out. His damage not even needed here as the Baron going low. It's a slower Baron, though.
No, it would be really nice if he was applying damage to it. It clearly means to me that they intend to turn.
And here comes Bio and Udasoff, and there is the turn immediately. Direwolves, though, didn't get close enough. So Order, just go right back to it.
Feels like it has to be a big test from Order there. They hit the Baron. If Direwolves clearly cannot get to the area, maybe they secure it. But Dream seemingly with no intent to even hit that. Maybe just trying his best to show on vision to make it seem like they weren't hitting it. Always a possibility. But like, even if they don't do Baron, Swiffer will win the side lane. It is an inevitability that he will get towers in that side lane. And they can play slow. They've got 3 Ocean Dragons as well, Pyro. They can sit here forever and do this dance.
Yeah, that's like having a free Warmogs in your inventory. Direwolves slow to react here as they had to back away. This time it's going a lot faster.
They won't
with
get here in
Dream
time.
is hitting it. This one will be secured. The teleport coming through. Swiffer already on the mid lane. Baron smited down, easy as you like, and Tally just jumping in front. Get back now, zoned away, and he's not going anywhere after this.
Dead as a doorknob. There's the mid laner of Direwolves. Now they're going to push forward. You'd expect maybe some resets from Order, but you'd think they'd have a fair amount of tempo to work with right now. No reason to go back to base. Inhib should be where they set their eyes on, and bot lane can also be moved towards if they would like. Threaten 2 lanes at once.
Looking on a 12,000 gold lead for Order right now, and they march into the mid lane. 26.5 minutes to take this out. Udasoff is getting caught pretty low here as Tally flashing forward on the boomerang. Forced the flash away. He goes a little far forward, but he's still not punished for it all. And meanwhile, the front door is just kicked in.
Yeah, and Spooks has already set up the bottom lane where they would like to be. So many members walk at Tally, and he does not back down. He just takes them all on. And so Order, that'll be 2 inhibitors easy as you like, and Tally's still threatening a 3rd all in one push.
Oof. You know, we've had some interesting games today, Rusty. But you know how, like, you go on, like, a long day of League and you have, like, really close ones, but you're winning more than you're losing. You're feeling good, but you're kind of exhausted and tired. And then you queue up, and it's the easiest game of your life. It's like you get that, like, the endorphins start pumping, like you're at the end of a marathon. I feel like this is what it feels like for Order at the moment.
Of course, they're not even close to the end of their marathon yet, Pyro, when you look at tomorrow. But today's been a big day for them.
That it has. Losing out to Mammoth, that one felt pretty bad. But up against Direwolves, I mean, this is just about as solid as you like. It's the expected result. But you always wonder if it doesn't go towards
more
it.
from their opponents, not from Order. I think Order are playing a very good game of League, and they should be commended for their performance so far as a hook is on.
Yeah, they pulled Jake into the box, and he's perfectly happy to oblige this fight here as Andrew is kind of caught out. Heals up, and look at that damage. They're just burning through him right now. True Shot Barrage clipping Corporal down to size.
Oh, no.
And in comes the Zac, the double kill. He just steps on him.
They just double with an E.
And this is going to be get back taken down. Soon enough, he flashes away, but sooner or later, they're running out of health bars, and they just combo up once again. It's only going to be Biopanther to live. This is game over.
Usain comes through. Bio's easily gone as well. Minions are going to slowly join Order. They should just be able to take out the Nexus. They redeem themselves from their first game, Pyro, and they look at Gravitas tomorrow.
That they do. Order still in the running for the playoffs, and it is going to be do or die up against Gravitas. But for now, Order are flying high at the end of day 1 of Super Week.
And I can't think of a moment in League that sums up Order better than that last 5 seconds of that game. Swiffer, always the serious man, just hitting the Nexus, just saying, what are you all doing? All 4 members of Order, the rest of them, trying to dive someone as they respawn. But Swiffer's hitting that Nexus, so I can't sum up Order better than what we just saw on the map.
My favorite moment was what happened right before. where you've got an AD carry and a support that are like this much health, and Spooks jumps on top of them, and then the goo just kills them.
I don't think you often in League of Legends.
You really don't see Zach like doing that
with a W.
Because it also doesn't even feel like it does damage. Like you watch it and you're like, yeah, that's like literally just like dropping like goo on somebody. Like that doesn't do damage. Well, apparently it does.
Well, when a Zach is ahead, he always does damage. Is a takeaway from that. But it
very
wasn't
true.
just Zach doing damage. The Ezreal was playing out of his mind well. Dream had a very good game. And I mentioned this in-game, but he had a good game from almost the first Q that he threw. Gets a mana pot, gets the Klepto going, and then just had that momentum from that point onwards.
A comfortable game. I think that's the key. Like, and nobody really felt out of sorts at all. Like, Tally was a little quieter for him, but he really counteracted what the Renekton was trying to do relatively well.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see those, like, crazy, like, 5-man Gnar against the wall ultimates, but it wasn't required. They just did exactly what they needed, and they closed it out.
Well, yeah, Direwolves hardly pressured them, and that's the thing. You know, in stark contrast, I think Order played a very good game of League, but Direwolves almost too patient with an early game comp and needed to be more aggressive. You can't just accept the handshake on a vertical jungle if you don't think it's going to win you the game.
You can't beat Order by playing orderly, so let's send it back to the couch to break down that last game.
That's right. Order keep the dream alive.
Certainly do. With that win, we are playing in the timeline. Just for those still playing at home, Nick.
Please.
Where there is still 2 little pink squares. That's what we're about. We're about the 2 little pink squares where I'm from. But in all seriousness, that was a much better game from Order. I think their bottom lane played much better. They used a lot of that pressure and priority they have bottom lane to light up the bottom half of Ubisoft's jungle. And Ubisoft is just playing like real, like, I don't want to use the word scared, but like he is playing so like incredibly like conservative.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is if you're Jarvan, you jungle way quicker than a Zach.
Yep.
And Spooks is doing ridiculous things. Like he's pulling camps together to try and ensure that he has like an advantage there in the tempo of the jungle race. And Ubisoft still nearly makes it there. He knows that Spooks is just left. He knows that like top is open for a gank, mid is open for the gank. He's playing Jarvan. You need to make something happen before the Zach can hit the map. And he didn't do that for me. And what that meant is that the Zach is just like a way more impactful Jarvan late game. You know, his ultimates is better. His elastic slingshot's just way further in. And the lanes of Order just played like they weren't going to be pressured, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, Tally was playing with Reckless Abandon. Dream and Jake were playing really well. And that was into double counterpick. Like, I like Thresh into Braum. I like Vayne into Ezreal. I would be happy if we were playing the flip side of that. But, you know, they kind of just disregarded anything Ubisoft was going to do. And I think that's when you got to get on your bike as a jungler. It's hard to do against, you know, the flow of the game, but wasn't able to do it, unfortunately.
And so Order have tonight to gather their thoughts, gird their loins, and they're heading into Gravitas tomorrow. And Direwolves tomorrow will be looking at Legacy versus Chiefs. They'll be hoping to pick up a win out of one of those 2 games before they head into the end of the split, really. But we have one of the men of the game. It is Dream. He's sitting at the desk with Pyro.
Still working on the headset for a second, but no, we got it all good. Good stuff. So Order played such a clean game. You especially looked super comfortable on the Ezreal.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, was there any moment that you guys just thought, yeah, we could lose this game? Because it felt like you were just playing it out.
No, I felt pretty confident throughout the whole game, and I was able to play like quite confidently. I think my team played around me really well, made sure I was safe all the time, set up vision for me. So yeah, they kind of made it look like I was playing super well, but I think it was all in the setup. So yeah, my team played really well this game.
Yeah, overall good team play, and you know, you'd be forgiven for maybe having a misstep or 2 and feeling a little bit of nerves after that Mammoth loss, but it seemed like the team was just, you know, firing on all cylinders. Was there added pressure going into this game, even though Direwolves are a much easier team to face?
I don't think there was added pressure. I think we're all pretty comfortable with, you know, knowing the games we have to win and lose to get into playoffs. And if we don't, you know, when we played against Mammoth, they had a really, really good game. You know, we got outplayed bot pretty hard, so, you know, just kudos to them. And, yeah, they definitely deserve to win that game. But coming into this game, we knew that, you know, if we played like we were playing in scrims this week, we'd do really, really well. And hopefully it showed.
Yeah. So there's a few things that need to happen in order for you guys to make now into the playoffs. But the most important thing is for you to beat Gravitas tomorrow. How confident are you about that game?
I'd say I'm pretty confident. Yeah, with the way we've been practicing the last few weeks, I've been, you know, super, super happy with how it's been going. However, on stage, I'm still, you know, not really playing to a level that I'm satisfied with right now. But I'd say this Star Wars game gave me a bit more confidence, and hopefully going into tomorrow, we play pretty well.
Yeah, there's the boost. You always want to get a little bit more momentum. So thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on your win. Best of luck. We're going to go ahead and take a quick Macca's break before we head back to the couch.
We don't believe in labels at Macca's, like dinner or breakfast. So we're getting rid of them. Now you can enjoy dinner or breakfast whenever you want it. McDonald's all-day menu. Available 24/7.
All right, that is it for tonight's broadcast.
That was so short.
It was so short. I mean, it really felt like it flew by. I feel like we could pack in another 6 games.
Yeah, let's do it.
You guys ready? You can stick around. Rusty's so excited.
He's leaving. He's out.
He's out. A couple of bits of housekeeping before we go. I need to call out.
Ah!
Look at this. Look at what you did, Rebecca. Rebecca Borg sent this in. You may remember a couple of weeks ago, she said that she would love to paint along with us again if we did another painting. We suggested that she paint a picture of our Gragas. She did it. It's glorious. It's like he's back here with us. You can at least acknowledge that this is a good painting of a bad painting.
I hate that painting.
You don't hate this painting.
I
You hate
it.
the painting it
I
represents.
hate what everything it stands for.
You hate the muse of this painting.
Yes.
This painting, we love this
No,
painting.
I like that. And I like people to get involved as well. It's one thing to like pipe up in Twitch chat or like, you know, tweet in.
Please.
Like when you actually get positively involved in the show, big fan.
Big fan. So that's going to go up in the studio. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Sadder news, unfortunately. I don't know how to break it to you. Cats won the vote.
Yes, dude.
53% apparently of you.
Do you know
prefer
why?
A cat over a
Because
dog.
cats are smarter. So the cats created bots and then they
That's
spotted the
probably
poll.
what happened.
Absolutely.
That is 100% what happened. So, cats,
Smarter, better, more handsome.
but you'll know what happened under the dictatorship. You're going underground. And the last thing for the evening, Sligging was pointing out in the chat, apparently, baby birds, if you pick them up, the mothers don't reject them.
Ooh.
And then when we were doing the last segment, we were breaking down like like how all the teams have performed so far tonight. Sligging piped up, how can we trust Spawn as an educator when he spreads baby bird misinformation?
That's kind of funny.
So there you
I
go.
apologize, Sligging. I thought that was genuinely the truth. I've been told that. Maybe it's a misnomer or something.
It came, your heart was in the right place. You wanted to help. And so was yours because you wanted to call it out so that people wouldn't stop saving baby birds.
Exactly
So
right.
I feel like everyone won today, except, of course, the baby birds that weren't saved. But let's not talk about those. All right, that is it for today. Let's just run through the results from the first Super Weekend. AV versus Chiefs. Chiefs take out game number 1. Mammoth versus Legacy. Mammoth take the win there. Bombers beat Avant. Order just lose to Mammoth. Bombers then take their second game of the day against Gravitas, and then Order looking stronger against Direwolves to close us out. Jake, can you take us through tomorrow's schedule?
Absolutely, I can. It's going to be a cracker. Another 6 games coming your way, kicking off with Mammoth versus the Bombers. If the Chiefs want top spot, this is a game that the Bombers must lose, and it's Order versus Gravitas. The first game that will decide the playoff implications. If Order win, they still have a shot. If Gravitas win, they are locked and secured. Then it is Legacy versus Direwolves. The Wolfpack would love to get a win there. Order fans become Chiefs fan in game number 4 of the day as Gravitas take on the Chiefs, and Legacy versus Avant Gaming and Direwolves versus the Chiefs. Couple of dead rubbers unless games have gone very strange at the top of show, Nick.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you guys will join us tomorrow for another action-packed evening of League of Legends action. We'll be here. McDonald's will be here. Thank you very much for coming on board as the sponsor of the OPL, and we look forward to hanging out with you guys tomorrow night.
Bryce might be here.
Also, Bryce may or may not be here, but a reminder,
Hingers is here.
back. Hingers is coming back. There he is. Look how happy he is. Why do I look like the devil there?
Because you are the devil. And Nick is... Michael is our savior.
Michael is a very good man. And I'm excited to have him here for the entire evening.
Quiet, Bryce. Don't worry about it, Bryce.
Yeah, and Bryce, I mean, we'll just figure out what to do with Bryce. He may have just melted
Good Bryce.
and drifted away. But yeah, all right. Well, we'll just let Jake slowly stroke Bryce off to sleep, and we will join you tomorrow.
Cruel